Hi Harry, so your Sabre is all done, baselit as we discussed, so hopefully super durable, super simple in terms of looking after it. A few things you need to know about charging it and how the innards are sort of put together. It's all had to be sort of custom made, custom designed, so it's a little bit unique. So yeah, let me run you through that now. So starting at the front end at the emitter, obviously in-hill LED like this Baselit, there's a pretty powerful module in there. Strictly speaking, these are categorized as lasers. So just as a safety feature, I've made a little blade plug just to protect people's eyes if you're swinging it around without the blade. It's nothing fancy, very simple. It's just 3D printed with a little bit of diffuser on the inside, so it's 3 layers of diffuser on the inside, and a little magnet in the front so that you can add it to an Allen key like that and sort of drop it, because you've got quite a deep emitter, drop it down the throat to to actually get it in. Or you can always unscrew the emitter, of course. So that's that. So if we take the emitter off and have a look at the actual module at the front, so it's a red, green, royal blue tri-cree module with a focusing lens. Now the holder that I found, I had a sort of a bit of a rummage, and this was obviously this brass is just a plumbing fitting, so it's not really made to a standard size for any heat sinks or anything, but this one fitted pretty well. You couldn't even fit a strip of Captain tape around it, so it was a pretty close fit, but it didn't have much in the way of heat sinking. So what I've done is added some heat sink paste all the way around it, so that when it's sort of pushed in, that sort of spread all around. So now the actual metalwork all around here is kind of the heat sink. I mean, it'll only get warm if anything. I mean, we're not talking about sort of boiling water type heat, but it does generate heat, and the heat's got to go somewhere. So now it goes into the whole hilt. So so that's the emitter end of it. Just get that in. So obviously single button control, and to get into it, to get it going, Allen key in there. There's our pommel. Now I drilled out those 3 holes, give a bit of extra sound venting, and also I've put this on the lathe. You can see that edge. If you remember, this was sort of chamfered to begin with. Now the issue with that was this chassis had to be quite thin at the end in order to fit that was the smallest speaker I could find, 22mm, but you can see this edge is quite thin. It beefs up for the rest of it, but it's only that speaker bit. So I put this on the lathe, took the chamfer almost all off. You can just see a tiny little bit left, so that it actually has a flat surface to bear on, because the idea is these pins at the front will engage in that disc at the front, which just stays in the front of the emitter, and that's wired through. Get it to focus. That's wired through to the LED module at the front and the switch. And the way I've set it up, it's all, as you saw, it's already quite a close fit inside the hilt. But at the front, that disc is sort of set into that. This is a test I did, and the idea is that little taper, I don't know if you can see that, slots into that to stop any rock. And just before the springs get to full compression, the two press together, so the whole thing is really, really firmly locked. And then the whole thing is held in place by the pommel, which when you push it in and push it right in as far as it'll go, you'll feel the spring tension on those pins. So it can go in any orientation, doesn't really matter. Just be careful once you've powered it not to touch the pins on the metal. That will be bad, or potentially could be bad. Obviously you've got profi board there, removable battery, and there's a little light there, so when you boot it up, that comes on. It switches off after 10 minutes of inactivity, which is why it's off now, so it won't drain the battery, but it's just a useful indicator. Obviously you'll get the boot sound. There wasn't room for a kill switch, so just putting the battery in is what boots it up. So that just slides in. Now if you ever have a problem getting it out, which you shouldn't do, it slides pretty easily, or it'll be a close fit. I'll add a small Allen key. You can just use it to hook into one of those slots, and you can just hoik it out that way. But as you say, it's quite a smooth fit, albeit very close. So if we pop the pommel in, now I've set it all up so with the springs pushed, you've got that tiny little gap, just to give a little bit of leeway. So it's the pommel that holds the pins in place. So let's push that right in and just nip that up. Oops, hang on. There we go. And then I'll give you all the instructions for the way it's been programmed. That'll all be there, all the different functions. But basically, to get it going, it's one short, sharp click of the button and let go. And she is lit. Blade plug's not in it, but obviously it's safe looking at it through a camera. We'll have swings and everything, clashes. I haven't got a blade of the right size, so I can't demonstrate it with the blade, but you get the idea. Blaster blocks. And lock-ups. Now, for the colour change, there's about 20 sound fonts on it, and you'll get a list of all the fonts that are on it and the default colours that are programmed into it. So all these are the fonts that are on it. These are the default colours, but you can select it to any one of 12 colours on every font. And the way you would do that is with the hilt pointing down. It's a bit of a knack, and trying to do it reaching around my phone might be a bit tricky. But hold the button and like a quick motorcycle throttle twist.
Entering color change.
Now if we rotate the hilt, we go through all the different colour options, 12 different colour options altogether. I haven't done what they call the infinite colour wheel, because it makes it hard to retrace your steps if you don't like it. And then press and hold until it comes out.
Exiting color change.
So that colour is now completely locked in. That's the colour it was. I've gone back to the original one. It just cycles round. You just keep going. And then to shut it off, it's press and hold. And then to go to the next font is a sort of like a 1 second press.
Luke Skywalker.
And the next one.
Smooth July.
And then to go backwards through the fonts is press and hold.
Luke Skywalker.
Then back to the first font, your home font.
Harry's lightsaber.
One thing I forgot to run you through, getting the battery out. I've made a little. Take that out. Yeah, just being careful not to touch the speaker or not to sort of push hard on the speaker. So I've made a little dibber tool. The easiest way to get the battery out is through the back. So if you just push the cable to one side, and you can just pop it out. Makes it very easy. And then to pop it back, the ridge is a little bit too far down, makes it a bit tricky, but just pop it in.
Harry's lightsaber.
And just give it a twist to set the spring at the end correctly. As I say, you get that indicator light, which just shows it's booted up and everything, and because you've got the twist ignition, it starts blinking once the blade's lit. After 10 minutes, that'll shut down, and once that shuts down, the twist ignition will stop working. So that's your new lightsaber. Enjoy.